Hey everyone, how are we doing? It's Tuesday night, it's the Late Night Agenda. I'm your host Craig, and as always, you're very welcome along to tonight's stream. Where are we going to start? Where are we going to start? Pick the bones out of what happened last night, where we are now, the new stories that are coming out from France around Nicolas Pepe, the denials that are coming out around Nicolas Pepe, the bookies odds that are suggesting Bruno Fernandes could be Liverpool bound, the absolute lack of any news from journalists suggesting that Bruno Fernandes could be Liverpool bound. I don't know where to go with this, ladies and gentlemen. When myself and Connor were having a chat trying to figure out the title for tonight's stream, what to put on the thumbnail, there was a lot of head scratching going on. There was a lot of, do you know what I mean? We're at that point, aren't we? Where I don't even know how to fucking feel about this anymore. I don't know if I should be happy. I don't know if I should be frustrated. I've an underlying belief in Jurgen Klopp, of course, and the team that they'll get this right, but I'm also petrified that we don't do something this window and go and strengthen and stand still when for the first time in a very long time we're that fucking close. That close. I'm hoping you guys can help me get through this one tonight because I'm all over the shop. I'm not going to lie. My head's gone one way today. It's gone another day. Let me see where you guys are feeling. Let me see if anybody's got any positivity. Maybe I need your help tonight, ladies and gents. Maybe I need you to lift me up and feed me full of some good news. How are we? To everybody, by the way. Thank you for dropping in. Right, so let's start with last night's event, shall we? Let's start around what happened with Bruno Fernandes. So, as I suggested last night and as I reported last night, I was about 9 o'clock or so. I was getting ready to come on. And somebody sends me a screenshot saying that the odds for Bruno Fernandes Liverpool had plummeted. It had gone really low. So I searched around really quickly trying to find stuff and I couldn't find anything. People were sending me stuff about Mark Goldbridge looking really disappointed on stream after him hearing live on his stream about the odds of Bruno Fernandes going to Liverpool hitting the floor. Then we start getting the plane tracking stuff, and then we start getting the cryptic messages from Bruno Fernandes on Instagram suggesting that he's leaving Sporting Lisbon. And that's pretty undoubtable. I mean, that message was what it was, but it did suggest he was leaving. Then the plane tracking fun started, and that was a bit of fun, but we kind of seemed to figure out fairly quickly there that he wasn't heading to Liverpool, and we thought, maybe Manchester, but it ended up being Dubai. To cut a long story short, he's off on a break with his family in Dubai, I believe, so we can put that one to bed. He's not in Liverpool, he's not in Manchester. With bookies odds, I've said this to you guys before, it doesn't take a whole lot of money being put down for somebody to join someone or for something to happen for bookies odds to change, but they did change quite dramatically last night over a very short period of time across a number of bookmakers. I'm still none the wiser today whether we've an interest in Bruno Fernandes, if we've pipped in ahead of United for Bruno Fernandes, the 70 million quid that's apparently been asked for Bruno Fernandes. Some people say United are stalling on that one. Some people say Liverpool have nipped in ahead of them. The truth of this is I haven't got a clue. I have not got a clue what to go on. And like I've always said since day one, I'm not going to come on and tell any lies. I'd love to be on here being full on ITK and lying to people and getting in thousands of subscribers from it, but it's just not me. It's not the way this channel is run. So I'm coming on tonight and we're going to talk about Nicolas Pepe because some stuff came out from Get Football News France, which I'm sure you guys have seen, and I'll read through that the story or the interview from the journalist around that. We'll have a look at some people that are leaving Liverpool Football Club. We'll have, of course, a look at the young centre-back who Liverpool look like they're just about to sign, and a few other bits in between. Ladies and gents, there's lots for us to get through, but as always, I need your help. So what do you want to talk about tonight? What's first up? Bruno Fernandes? You want to talk about Pepe? As always, this is your show. I think that's probably the longest monologue I've had at the start of a show without dipping into the chat and saying hello to people, which felt very strange doing, and I'm not going to lie. Yes, C. Warren, you absolutely can, mate. Give me 2 seconds. There you go, sir. Right back with you. Right, what else we got? Scotty said, I sent you a screenshot of what the Echo said about Fernandes. I don't even think I need to read the screenshot, mate. I gather it's something along the lines of Liverpool have no interest in Bruno Fernandes. I'm guessing that that's probably what it says, because as people have reported, that's pretty much all that's coming out of the Echo these days, is that nothing is happening. No, like people will put transfers at and they'll go, no transfer, no interest. Liverpool don't like footballers, never looked at a footballer before. I'm probably being a little bit harsh on the Echo there, to be fair. Buffon, no, that's not going to happen. Riley Jenkins, he had been linked to Leeds, but that seems to have gone away as well. I was hoping for some Bruno updates today, but nothing, said Big Virgil. You're not the only one, my friend. I was the exact same as yourself. I was quite excited this morning to wake up, quickly look at my phone, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. Do you think a left back is a priority? I'm worried because I feel we need to strengthen there. Yes, I agree with you, Jordan McPhee, 100%, mate. We do need to look for cover there. Now, whether it's strengthening there from going out and buying a player, I don't know, mate. Or I know this isn't sexy, but it's quite boring, and it might be factual. We could look at Adam Lewis, and he could be the solution there. Or maybe we go and get a utility player that can cover both sides. Or maybe then you go and you get somebody like we've been linked to the guy from Southampton the other day. God, I'm drawing a blank at the moment. Not Matt Target, the other guy, the older guy. Ryan Bertrand. We've been linked with him as well for 10 billion. So I don't know what to believe anymore, which is where the title of the stream came from tonight. Nobody knows. None of us seem to know what is going on. Yeah, it's mad. My mood changes very quickly around transfers, because when you think, okay, well, let's just wait and see what happens. Players are away, the club are away, and then you just see article after article from British-based journalists saying that basically, I don't want to say we'll do fuck all in this window, but suggesting that it's tweaks, minor tweaks, and not to expect any big money signings, which I've got to be honest, as much as I have faith in Klopp, if we don't make a signing, a couple of good signings in this window, I'm going to be pissed. I'm not going to lie about it. I fully back the manager, and I know that the manager can improve the players that are currently at the club, but that doesn't take away from the fact that our squad last year wasn't big enough to compete across the 4 competitions. You can say to me that we had injuries with Adam Lallana, we had injuries with Joe Gomez, we had injuries with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, but who's to say we won't pick up more injuries this season? And bringing through young players is great. But when you're in a position of strength like we are, and you're after winning the Champions League, and you're after putting up 97 points in the Premier League, and you see Manchester City looking to bring in Rodri, Harry Maguire possibly, who by the way is not an 80 fucking £1 million defender, far from it, but they're still looking to bring in players. You don't want to stand still. Now, I don't know if we are standing still or not. We could all be, I could look very, very silly very soon if we sign players. It's like the Echo doing nothing to see here sketch, said Red Hulk. Check Melissa Reddy's Twitter, her latest tweet. I'll try and do it, mate, but it's a bit hard to do when I'm live. Let me have a second to see if I can find Mel Reddy. One sec. It'd be nicer if you guys just gave me the gist of what was going on here. Melissa Reddy, right, there we go. Melissa Reddy's last tweet read, hashtag LFC, call info, they've had talks with Lille over Nicolas Pepe, pure lies. No meetings, discussions of any sort have taken place. Michael Edwards personally got in touch with Lille manager Christophe Galtier earlier this month to say zero interest. Right, now, that seems as good a place as any to start, by the way. Let's talk about Nicolas Pepe. So, we've seen Melissa Reddy, who has a finger on the pulse of all things Liverpool. I would absolutely agree with that one. And she said, like the Echo have said, and like a few other British-based journalists have said, no interest in Nicolas Pepe. Now, take from that what you want. But then we move on to Mohamed, Boufassi, who was speaking to Get Football France, or Get Football News France, about Nicolas Pepe. And this is quite a long article, so I'm going to read through it and hope you guys can bear with me. This is an €80 million situation, so it's a situation that needs time and calm. What I can say is that there are very concrete discussions with Liverpool. Now that's completely different to what Melissa Reddy said a moment ago. Discussions that are not even denied by Lille. At Lille they don't deny there's very concrete interest and discussions from and with Liverpool. Even Bayern Munich, I haven't checked on this situation for a couple of days, but it's possible that other clubs have inserted themselves into the running. I know that one of my colleagues who does an excellent job, who I want to congratulate because blah blah fucking blah, also said that L'Equipe have spoken about Atletico Madrid and Inter Milan showing an interest. I don't have any information on Atletico Madrid or Inter Milan. I did speak about an unnamed third club following my exchanges on Nicolas Pepe with Liverpool fans, and I think at this time the third club could be Inter Milan. But I think that at €80 million, this deal is too expensive for the Italian side. Then I know that Jurgen Klopp adores Nicolas Pepe's profile. So he's not holding back here. Adores Nicolas Pepe's profile. He brings a lot of speed and is made to play in England with quick transitions, exceptional ability and counter-attack. Discussions have been had with Liverpool, who have a very profound interest. Now, who's talking out their arse here? Is this journalist from France talking out his arse? I wouldn't even dare suggest Melissa Reddy's talking out her arse, because I wouldn't disrespect Mel Reddy like that, because I would value Mel Reddy's opinion. The other thing that I know is that Nicolas Pepe is at the African Cup of Nations and wants a couple of days to make his decision. I don't know if you've been following, but Liverpool is a club that often comes out to deny claims on transfers. Jurgen Klopp often talks about transfers, and that isn't true, cites Lorenzo Insigne. Liverpool haven't denied interest in Nicolas Pepe. Again, different to what we've just heard from Melissa Reddy. I know that Bayern Munich are still following the situation closely, even if the Ivorian is not the number one target. Their interest is still there, like it was in the winter. It's a situation that will decant, I like that word, in the coming days, and we have to respect the player's wishes. He wants to concentrate on the national team, and don't be surprised if other clubs dive into the race in the coming days at Lille. I've been told that they're anticipating other Premier League clubs getting involved. It is not unthinkable. Right. So let me say, first of all, I wholeheartedly believe Melissa Reddy over this gentleman. There's a couple of flaws in this dude's story here that we could pick through. But first and foremost, one thing that stood out for me in what this guy, Bufazzi, or whatever his name is, had to say is that the player wants time to think. Well, excuse my bluntness here, but fuck Nicolas Pepe. If you need time to think about joining Liverpool Football Club, then you're not the right player for this football club. I've said it before and I'll say it again. People should be crawling over broken glass to come and play for this football club, to come and play for our manager, to come and play in front of the crowd at Anfield. It's a fucking privilege to come and play at this football club. So if a player needs 2 seconds to think, that's 2 seconds too long, in my opinion. So if Nicolas Pepe is having to think about it, then my reply is fuck Nicolas Pepe. That's where I am on this, and that's my honest opinion on it. I want players who want to be kicking down the door to come to Anfield. I want players who will swim the fucking channel to come to Anfield, to play in front of our crowd, to play for our manager, and to wear that red shirt. But look, this isn't coming out of Nicolas Pepe's mouth. This is coming out of that gentleman's mouth. So I'll pass it over to you guys. I know that was quite a long-winded article, but I wanted to read the article in almost its entirety to give you guys a fair scope on this one. So what have we got on this? Let me get into it. Maybe it's because she loves Liverpool, said Antoine. If this is because of Mel Reddy, I just honestly think Mel Reddy is a genuine person, and I don't think she's ever purposely done anything for clicks, or she's very straight-laced, and I respect her as a journalist, I have to say, I really do. And I know Melissa Reddy, not personally, I shouldn't say that, sorry. I know her of her work, and her work speaks for itself. I don't know this dude, so I'll have to, side with Melissa Reddy on this one. Everyone's saying different things because nobody knows. Said looks, Craig, I'm confused at what's happening. You're not the only one, Scotty, my friend. Trust in Mel, said Malcolm. We should have tried to sign Luka Jovic, said Aditya 007. At this rate we won't sign anyone, said Seamus Smith. Well, I got to that point as well today, Seamus, where I was getting a little bit angry, but then I do need to remind myself that we did finish the season 3 weeks later than most teams. Kloppo is on his holidays. Players are at the AFCON. Players are at the Copa America. Some players perhaps, that we are looking at could have been at the Euro Under-21s as well. So there's still a lot of stuff going on that would stop transfers regardless of whether we have a player that we particularly want or not. What else we got? Pepe would be scared he wouldn't get enough game time. Can't blame the lad really. See, that's I'm not having to go at you here, by the way, mate, but that's completely a bullshit attitude to have. If you're somebody at his level and you back yourself, then you back yourself. You look at our front three and you go, well, I'm fucking good enough. I'm going to get in there, and when I get my chance, I'm going to take it, and they're going to have to rip that shirt back off me. And that's the type of player we want at the club, to be fair. I've noticed that I've lost a couple of subscribers since I went on my rant, and you know what? You can kiss my fucking ass. I don't care. Honestly, I'm giving you my honest opinion, and if that isn't playing into the transfer world that you guys want, then I don't give a shit, is the honest answer. I'm only ever going to be honest on here, and that's my opinion. And now, as I said, I'll pass it over to you guys and get your opinion, because it's all about forming a consensus. What price is Bruno Fernandes to Liverpool tonight? I haven't checked, Peter, is the honest answer, mate. The screenshots I've been sent earlier were 1 to 3 with one bookmakers, and I can't remember who it was, mate. I'll be absolutely lying to you. What have we got? Just told Melissa ready to come on the stream and sort this out, said Kev. We'll sign somebody. There's no way we won't sign a single player, said Mr. Crosby. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's worrying me. All this stuff about tweaks and all this stuff about not needing to do much business in the window, it does worry me a little bit. I have to say it does, just a little bit. I honestly want players to wear the shirt and not to think about you shouldn't need to think to come to Liverpool. I agree. Fuck 'em, said Stephen Richards. Exactly. Man City haven't signed anyone, so it doesn't matter. They're about to, though. You can say they haven't, Thomas Gaiman, but we know 100% that they're looking at signing Rodri because they're talking about triggering that release clause. They're very heavily linked to Harry Maguire and a couple of other. I think there was a backup goalkeeper or something that they were looking at as well. How much would he have to pay for Bruno Fernandes? Adam, it looks like it's about 70 million. I think he has a release clause of 100 million, mate, but it's looking like about 70 million is the figure that would get him out of Sporting Lisbon. What do I think about Fekir? Asks Jonathan. I love him, Jonathan, mate. I would really, really love Nabil Fekir to come to Liverpool. That's an interesting one, and I have some stuff on Nabil Fekir because where is it gone? Bear me 2 seconds. So apparently Leon have contacted a number of agents to try and obtain some offers for Nabil Fekir. We all know he was close to joining the Reds last summer, but it seems as though even with just 1 year left on his contract, Leon are struggling to get anybody to come and buy the kid. It's madness. I don't know what's going on with Fekir. Like, you heard stories that at one point City were interested in him. Now, this was gone back a while ago. Obviously, we know Liverpool were interested in him. You'd heard rumours linking Bayern Munich to him. And now that he's actually available, and we know for a fact he's available because Jean-Michel Aulas has said there's an agreement in place that Nabil Fekir can leave Lyon this summer, nobody's going for him. Nobody. I'm absolutely baffled at this one. From our point of view, I can understand it. If we pulled away because of the medical or the knee issue, then, that would be the end of it, no matter what the price was. But for somebody, surely somebody would go in there and try and get that guy. This reeks of a Daniel Levy signing to me at Spurs, by the way. If nobody goes for him, this is exactly the type of player that Daniel Levy will go in there and try and get to Spurs. Sonny said Fekir is the best option. I do apologise, by the way, if I seem a little bit cranky tonight. I do apologise. I'm having a shit day, so bear with me on this one. The regulars that know I'm not usually this cranky, but I'm having a really fucking shit day. What else we got? Sorry I'm late, said Dave Sweetie. All good, mate. No need to apologise. Fekir is overrated and his work rate sucks, plus a dodgy knee. Okay, you say that, Max. He's missed less games than, I can't remember the amount. I think there was a list of Liverpool players that had been scrolled out that he'd missed less games than over the past couple of seasons. And it actually surprised me, mate, seeing that list. What else we got? Looks, honestly, mate, I know you're trying to be nice, but relax. Don't tell me to calm down, mate. I'm fully entitled to come on and say whatever I feel like saying, as you are fully entitled to reply back, mate. Apparently, what's this? Craig, apparently for every bid refused above 50 million, Sporting must pay Fernandes 5 million. I've never heard that, Evan, mate. Honestly, that would be an interesting clause though, wouldn't it? I'd like Eriksen and Stephen Richards. I'd love him. Stephen, I'd absolutely love Christian Eriksen to come into Liverpool, but I don't see it happening. He's going to be somebody who a lot of clubs around Europe are going to be looking at. We brought in Gomez, Robbo, Hoover. We haven't signed Van den Berg just yet, Neil Anthony, but it looks like we're very, very close to signing him. So bear with me 2 seconds. So it looks like Liverpool, as I said, have won the race to sign this Dutch teenage centre-back called Sepp van den Berg. What a cool name that is to say, by the way. With the defender apparently due to undergo medical on Wednesday ahead of a move that's valued at just under £1.8 million. Bayern Munich and Ajax were both desperate to sign him, but apparently Liverpool have convinced the Dutch under-19 international that a move to Anfield from PEC Zwolle, I'm sure I've absolutely mispronounced that as well, he'll become Liverpool's first signing of the transfer window and is expected to go into next season. Acclimatising is the phrase used in the article, to try and make an impression on the first team squad, and that came via the Telegraph. So I like these signings. I have to say, I do like the idea of good quality young centre-backs. We've got Kiana Hoover, and now we're getting another young up-and-coming Dutch centre-back who a lot of top European clubs have been fighting over. Class. I love that. More of that, please. But we do want the big sexy ones as well. Do you know what I mean? We do want the the one or two pieces of quality. And look, this guy probably will be quality, but he's not quality right now. And Liverpool have been amazing at going out there and getting young talent. But we need to also go out there. And we have, but this window we cannot stand still. There's a youngster from Portugal, looks really promising. His name is Cristiano Ronaldo. Go check him out. He's a complete fraud, mate. You know, he's overhyped as fuck. Imagine that. Do you remember we couldn't? The fact that we... It still makes me angry to this day that we said 10 million quid was too much for him, or the owners of Liverpool Football Club at the time, but the chairman of Liverpool Football Club refused to sanction the 10 million for an 18 or 19-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo at the time. How mad does that look? I believe the Pepe rumours, this is Anfield, say it's concrete. If it comes down to a shootout between This Is Anfield and Melissa Reddy, again I'm siding with Melissa Reddy, because I don't know anybody at This Is Anfield. Not that I'm trying to run them down, I just don't know anyone that's there. We need a good midfielder, a good backup forward, and we're sorted, said Sonny. Dirk Kuyt bought Wigan. Well, that is kind of not true. I think he's part of a consortium that's looking to buy an EFL club. Had been rumoured to be Bolton, but you know, Wigan makes sense as well. But he didn't buy it on his own, mate. He's part of a consortium that's going to buy it. I can't remember the name of the Dutch businessman that was leading the consortium, but we spoke about it the other night. What else we got? I think we'll announce him on Friday, said Anthony Cronin. Who are we announcing, mate? I think we're saving money to sign Mbappe in the next transfer window, said Adita. Good evening, Craig. How are you, Pepper Red? Yes, we did make I don't know if we've made a bid for that 19-year-old Paris FC striker, Kyle, but we have certainly looked at him, mate. Yes, that is spot on. I think he scored 11 goals in the French second division last season, and there had been a £5 million bid turned down from before, and the other clubs apparently interested are Braga and Barcelona. This stream is such a contrast compared to last night. Yeah, it's so much more measured. Last night was fun. It was really good fun. It was all over the shop though, because we didn't know what was going on. Everything was breaking. People were excited. We were tracking planes. And then today it's a bit of an anticlimax. But there you go. Am I the only one who thinks Zaha would be a great shout? No, you're not, mate. John Aldridge agrees with you fully. And John Aldridge reckons that Liverpool should go and pip Arsenal, if Arsenal are even in for Wilfried Zaha, which I don't think they could afford him, to be honest. But John Aldridge reckons Liverpool should concentrate their transfer efforts this summer on signing Wilfried Zaha from Crystal Palace. I haven't seen many genuine links to him in the media, ladies and gents, if I'm being honest. But we spoke about him before as a player that could do a job. But is he a 60, 70 million player? I don't know. Liverpool aren't going to come out and say we're buying Pepe. Makes sense what Mel said. Yeah, no, it's grand, Sean, from that perspective. But when you start seeing things like we're not interested in this player, this player, this player, this player, repeated over and over again by the British-based media, it makes people like me very panicky. But it doesn't take much to make me panicky in the transfer window, mate, because, as I said before, I'm a demon for transfers. I live for this part of the season. When there's no football, this is the next best thing to talk about transfers. Boss Mega, that's I don't know where to go with that, mate. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna just pass on it. I think you should be judging Melissa Reddy on what she does as a journalist, mate, rather than on her looks, personally. But look, I'll leave you be. Yes, Endon Bele, he looks very likely to be signing for Spurs as well. Have you seen that tonight? We spoke about a £63 million deal that Spurs have been working on over the past few weeks. Some rumours over the past 24 hours have suggested that that's starting to get a little bit closer. Mohamed Bouffassi is reliable. Yeah, I don't know the guy. As I said, this is why I would listen to Melissa Reddy. Now, he's a very big account. I did check out his Twitter account. And he does work for, is it Orsi? I can't remember what they're called. The French, what are they called? I don't even know the name of the French channel that he works for. But yes, he does work as a legitimate journalist, Shay. 100% agree with you on that, mate. Top of the morning, Mr. Red. How are you, Mark? Welcome. Craig, if you think not signing Ronaldo was mad, Arsenal had the chance to sign Mbappe for a very modest fee. There's loads of those stories, Royal, mate. There's so many stories of clubs that missed out on signing players because of one reason or another. With Brexit looming, we should try and stick to British players like Zaha. I mean, I don't even know where to go with that, Stephen. Brexit's definitely not something I want to talk about, because when you say Brexit, I automatically want to punch Boris Johnson in the face. Even though I'll never get the chance to, and even though I really don't have any reason to. He just has one of those heads, doesn't he? That just is a fucking annoying looking head. What date are the Community Shield and Super Cup? August the 4th for the Community Shield and August the 14th, I think, Seamus, for the Super Cup. It's the Wednesday. It's 10 days after, basically. 10 days after the Community Shield. Evening, Craig. How's it going, boss? Not great today, mate. I'm not going to lie. Double Messi and Pepe signing. If only. If only. Do you think we're in for Fernandes or not? Media keep going on about it, but then it breaks. We're actually signing a young centre back. The honest answer, Shane, tomorrow is I don't know, pal. Yesterday, before I came on this stream, if you asked me at 8 o'clock yesterday evening, my honest view was that we're not interested in Pepe and we're not interested in Fernandes. That was my honest opinion at 8 o'clock yesterday. And then all that stuff happened about Bruno Fernandes and the odds. And we still don't know. We have no idea what's going on. Fekir will leave Leon. We should rip Leon's arm off, said Gary Richards. I'm with you, mate. At least go in there and try a ridiculous bid. Go in and offer them 15 or 20 million and see what they say. Surely nobody can say that 15 or 20 million for Fekir wouldn't be worth a roll of the dice. Even if you got 25, 30 games a season out of him, that will be worth a roll of the dice, in my opinion anyway. Chelsea got rid of Salah and De Bruyne, so Peter van der Schaans. Yeah, they've got a history, mate, don't they, of doing ridiculous things. I'll punch Boris Johnson for a box of curly whirly, said Stephen Richards. We need to act quickly. We don't want City getting too far away from us. Well, look, City are sort of playing catch up as well, Scotty. As much as I said, they're looking at Rodri, they're looking at Harry Maguire. They're looking at Harry Maguire to replace Vincent Kompany, and they're looking at Rodri as a long-term replacement for Fernandinho. So they're kind of playing catch up as well. So even at those two signings, they're just kind of stocking up. So I wouldn't say they're pulling away, but they are looking to do business. Right, what else we got? Check Melissa Reddy's Twitter, latest tweet. I've just gone through that one. Who was that one? Thank you, Lewis, for that, by the way. Appreciate the super chat, mate. Would you rather sign a creative midfielder, or would you give Oxlade-Chamberlain a chance instead? Both is probably my answer, O-Dog. Although, on the creative midfielder thing, I have said if we were to sign one attacking type player, I'd rather it be a wide forward that can play anywhere across the front three. But I do really, really believe highly in Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. And it's great to hear that fucking sorry, I'm drawing a blank here. It's great. I'm having one of those days. I really am. It's great to hear that Adam Lallana is training his ass off as well, trying to get fit for the season. That's what you want to hear. That's what you want to see from players at the club. So whatever you think of Lallana's future, you've got to commend him on his attitude. Do you rate Rabiot? I do, especially on a free transfer. Well, he's going to Juventus, Mark. So we can kind of put that one to bed. Do I rate him? Yes, he's a good midfielder, but I would be very worried about what took him so long to pick a club. I think he was just looking for cash. I think he was looking for the biggest wages he could get. But Juventus is a good club at the same time. Fekir got a dodgy knee, not worth the risk. We got screwed by Aquilani. Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but I'm talking about 15, 20, 25 million perhaps as a risk for Nabil Fekir. Then it's worth the risk, in my opinion. But I also absolutely understand where you're coming from. Your dad, how are you doing, champ? Oh, I'm okay, thank you, mate. I hope you're well. I want to take a second as well to say happy birthday to my wife. My wife's birthday today. I love her dearly, as I always say. So, yes, happy birthday to my wife today. What else we got? President Aulas at Leon's very hardball negotiator. Leon say 2 leaving plus Fekir, so Ndombele and Mendy, said Dean Dixon. What else we got? Juventus wage bill's going to be mad. I was thinking that last night, Ben. It was crazy. Yeah, so they've got Ronaldo. You can imagine he's on a shit ton of money. They got Aaron Ramsey on a free, so that's going to be a high wage. They got Emre Can on a free, so that's going to be a high wage. Now they're looking at signing Adrian Rabiot, so that's going to be a very high wage as well. So the wage bill is going to be really, really high. Juve have some team to ensemble Ronaldo, De Ligt, Rabiot, Sarri. Yes, they're putting together a decent team, to be fair to them. Ronaldo, people don't like when I say this, but Ronaldo, I don't want to say he's finished because his numbers and the goals he scores in the league suggest, but he's definitely on the wane. I mean, we have to agree with that. He's not the Cristiano Ronaldo who he once was. What is he now? 34, going on 35 years of age. No matter how good you are, even if you're the greatest of all time, everybody gets a little bit worse and slows down with age. So I wouldn't be worrying about Ronaldo as much, but De Ligt is a good signing, although he still has a long way to progress. But I'd be more concerned about some of the attitude of the players that have gone there and why they've gone there. What do you think about the possibility of signing Firpo as a replacement for Moreno? 45 million is a lot of money to look at putting in as a replacement, and he's not even a left back, Andrew. He is more of a left-sided attacking player who has played at left back. I keep trying to compare him to from a point of view trying to explain what he does more like Ryan Sessegnon, in that he can play at left back. He's been utilised at left back, but he's probably not really a left back. He's more of a left winger, left wing back, left side midfield player. And it would be the same with Firpo. Although his name is so much fun to say, isn't it? Firpo's great. I could say that all day. How many have we got in tonight on the stream? 506. How are we, everybody? I hope you're all keeping well. I hope life's treating you well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. We should sign a player ASAP. For what though? Do you know what I mean? I mean, I get where you're coming from, but a player is just random. Like, let's just sign a player. If there's somebody specific that we want, it'd be nice just to hear a rumour, wouldn't it, from a British-based journalist about somebody who Liverpool actually are after. So somebody to confirm that we've been interested in somebody would be nice. It would give us all a little bit of a lift, I think. And thank you to everybody saying happy birthday to Sabrina. I really appreciate that. I agree with you, pal. We should be spending a lot less on a backup left back. Yeah, it's a tough one as well. It's a tough pitch to somebody, isn't it, to try and bring somebody in and say, yeah, we want you, but you're behind this Scottish man over here who is unbelievable, and best of luck trying to displace him. But at the same time, he can play 72 games in a season, so he's going to need time to rest as well. As fit as he is and as healthy as he is, that's a lot of games for somebody to play. We're about to sign teenager Sepp van den Berg. I spoke about that earlier on. Very, very good up-and-coming centre-back by the looks of it. Just going off what people are writing today, a lot of clubs in from a Liverpool fall very hard to get him. Of course, you can have a shout out, Liam Barr. How are you, buddy? I hope you're okay. I hope life's treating you well. Thank you for coming in tonight. Would I take Felipe Anderson? Yes, I would. I think Felipe Anderson, I think we can all agree that he had a very good debut season in the Premier League with West Ham. West Ham, I don't know if they'd sell him. I'm always worried about us going for Premier League players because the price just goes through the roof when you're going Premier League to Premier League. Tierney for 25 million for backup. Looks like he's Arsenal bound, or they're definitely putting the yards in to try and sign him from Celtic anyway. I've always said I don't really watch Scottish football, but anybody I know that's a Celtic fan, and I do have a couple of mates who are very big Celtic fans, have sung his praises for a few years now and said that he would absolutely be able to play at the top level. Until Jimbo says it, I'm not believing any rumour, said O-Dog. Always the best way, mate. I don't think we need a left back. We have Milner, he can work on the youth. We have a centre attack, a midfield winger, centre back and a backup goalkeeper. Milner doesn't want to play left back though, but I get where you're coming from, Big LC. He can do it, and he can do a very good job there. The interesting thing about all of this though is Nathaniel Klein, because he could solve that equation. Nathaniel Klein, I know he's a right back, but you could throw him over there at left back if we needed to for a bit of cover. Between him, between Milner, between Adam Lewis, that would definitely give us options, but it does look as if Klein is off. I have absolutely no proof about this whatsoever in any way, shape or form. I want to make that crystal clear before I say what I'm going to say. But I think something went on. I think something's gone on with Kleiny and Klopp. Just my gut feeling on it. Again, nothing to back this up. Just my gut feeling. The whole situation about his fucking back injury and how long he was out, it was all very vague. Very, very vague. And something just didn't feel right about it at the time. And I don't want to speculate as to what it is, but I think something happened from my interpretation of the situation. Pepe is 100% not coming to Liverpool, said Eric. Is it Midgard? Yeah, if you look at the English-based journalist, Eric, yes, then you go and you look at this gentleman who spoke to at France Football News or whatever that channel is called or that account is called, and the Bufasi guy, and he says, well, do you know what, Liverpool are very interested in him and they've had talks with Leon or inquired to Leon about him. Whereas Melissa Reddy said tonight in her tweet that Liverpool basically had contacted Leon to say that they weren't interested. I hope I got that right. I think that's what she said. Let me just double check that because I don't want to misquote. So she said, hashtag LFC, call the info they've had with Lille over Nicolas Pepe, pure lies. No meetings / discussions of any sort have taken place. Michael Edwards personally got in touch with Lille manager Christophe Galtier earlier this month to say that there's zero interest. There you go. Now, that's a big statement for Melissa Reddy to come out and say if she wasn't 100% certain and being told that that was factual. When you start bringing in Michael Edwards and you start saying that Michael Edwards contacted the manager or the Galtier dude to say no interest, zero interest, and she quoted the phrase zero interest, quotation marks. I don't think she'd do that. She's too much integrity to have said or done that without that being true or being told that. So I fully believe in what she says is what she's been told. Do you think Neymar will go back to Barcelona? Yes, I do. It seems that he's probably going to have to take a wage cut to go back. And I heard one story today that he'll even have to apologise, which, I mean, I'd fucking pay to see that. I would pay to be in that dressing room when he came in there to apologise. If players are going out, such as Klein, and players getting older, makes sense. We go for players. The Seamus Smith. What's going on? Are we going to sign anybody? Said Oshie McGovern. Nobody knows what's going on, and I'm sure we will sign players, mate. But it's sometimes a little bit of an up and down, isn't it? Like last night, we were all buzzing on here, going, "Yeah, fucking signings, yeah." Bruno Fernandes, he's on a plane. He's on his way to Melwood. He wasn't. He was on his way to Dubai. But the odds still remain showing that Liverpool are heavy favourites to sign him over Manchester United, who are the only club that have genuinely been out there saying, yeah, we want them. All the stories you've read in the media are around Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes. Few stories linking Spurs to Bruno Fernandes, to be fair, but United seem to have been the ones putting in the hard yards. Klein going down the same road as Sacco to the line of behave or you're out. Something about Crystal Palace and 8 million for Mignolet. Yes, there was stories. I didn't see the figure of 8 million, but you are right. There was some stories circulating today that said that Crystal Palace are reportedly considering making a move for Simon Mignolet this summer. The London Evening Standard have suggested that Roy Hodgson would like to bring him to London, and it'll be interesting to see what does happen here, because I want Mignolet to get what Mignolet wants in this scenario, because I think his professionalism has been second to none this season, and if Mignolet at his age wants to move on and play football, I would like to think that we would allow him that move after his impeccable behaviour this season. Klopp has often said that he doesn't like players being at a club who doesn't want to be here, and if Mignolet does want to move on, then I'd like obviously the club to get the best deal possible for Liverpool Football Club, but I'd like to try and think that they would facilitate a move from away. But at the same time, if he's happy to stay here and be back up to Alisson, then that's sound as well. Klein just too old and reached his peak. He's 28. I mean, he is in his peak, mate. Klein going down the same road as Sacco. We've covered that one. I'm guessing Pepe is going to Bayern then. I don't think so, mate. No. I think that the stories that you've read around European media around Bayern are that they just don't think he's good enough. They had an interest in him, but anything I've read suggested that they don't believe he's worth anywhere near the money that's being asked, and that they're not going to take a chance at that fee. Now, they had been strongly linked to Leroy Sané of Manchester City, but Manchester City are hopeful by the looks of things that they can tie Leroy Sané down to a new deal. That Bufasi guy broke the Fabinho news apparently and said we're interested. He was signed within 2 hours. Yeah, how many times have I heard that over the past couple of weeks though, Connor, about players and this guy? Klein was apparently away in pre-season for the birth of his first child. The reporter asked him about Klopp and made the baby father joke. It was complete silence in the press room. Oh, okay, I don't know where to go with that one, mate. I've got the exact same feeling about Klein. There's definitely something going on behind the scenes, and if it were only Klein that feels underrated. Let's give Crystal Palace 45 million and Mignolet for Zaha. Who would like Zaha? Can I get a thumbs up or a thumbs down on Wilfried Zaha? And let's say 60 million as a figure, because I think that's a rough guess. Of 65 million seems to be the number that was thrown around. So yes or no for you guys on Wilfried Zaha. Do you think Bernardo Silva could challenge for the Ballon d'Or in the future? Probably, Anthony. He has been a very, very good piece of business for Manchester City. For me this season, I think that Bruno Fernandes, or not Bruno Fernandes, I'm mad on Bruno Fernandes now. Bernardo Silva, excuse me. I think Bernardo Silva has been Manchester City's standout player this season, although Raheem Sterling has got the plaudits. I think Bernardo Silva was a better player for Manchester City. And I think there's a few of you guys will probably agree with that from what I remember reading in the chat. Smalling is 5,000 to 1 to win the Ballon d'Or. I wouldn't even put 5p on it, mate, honestly. Imagine that. Chris Smalling, just even saying his name makes me smile. Maybe Klein didn't take too well to losing his place to a teenager. Perhaps, Raul, yeah, that is the case. But what we will say there is Trent took his chance and he has not looked back since, has he? Right, let me go through and see how everybody's feeling about Mr. Zaha. Game and Tube said no. Andre, no. Dodge, yes. Vinny, no. Mark and Paul both say yes. FIFA Gaming says yes. Brian Morrissey is going all the thumbs down. He's not holding back, mate. He's even borrowing people's thumbs. Ian Atkins said yes. Michael Edwards said there's no interest in Pepe. That's according to Melissa Reddy, of course, and Mr. Bud. Apparently they want 108 million for Zaha. Oh my, that's just beyond ridiculous. So in their eyes, Zaha is better than Eden Hazard. Okay, that's funny. Marco said, "Hey Craig, I changed my name. Still love you though." That's alright, mate. Thank you. Cheers for letting me know, because it is always handy to know if people change their name. What else we got? Jack said yes. David Newell said yes. Kirby said no. Seamus said no. AALF Tez Liverpool fan 9 says yes with regards to Zaha. Maybe Chloe done that one. The Chloe not taken too well. Joanne Fisher said yes as well. MHS Schumann said we should buy Bruno Fernandes and that will give a slap to United's face, which they did to us with Vidic and Ronaldo. I'm all up for giving United a slap in the face, mate. Half of the fun about last night was watching the meltdown of Manchester United fans when the whole Bruno Fernandes thing went. If nothing else happens about that transfer, that was worth it just for that fun alone. Connor said he takes Zaha for the right price. What is the right price for Wilfried Zaha? Has anybody got a figure in mind? We spoke 60 million, but is that the right price, Connor? Finn Roberts said, don't really know why I'm watching. I'm a City fan, but hello anyway. Hello, Finn. Good to have you with us, mate. I hope you're enjoying it, mate, even if you are a City fan. And we do talk about random football stuff as well, mate, from time to time. Somebody on the Anfield Wrap made a good comparison of Bernardo Silva to Bruno Fernandes. I haven't seen it, so I can't say who that was, but you know how highly I rate the guys in the Anfield Wrap. Wasn't Lamar a flop at Atleti? Is a flop the right word? Didn't work out for him. We can say that much. He hasn't exploded like maybe we thought, and that suggests that we got that right as well by not signing him. Who do you think we need to win the league next season? I think we need another wide forward, Jordan. I think I agree with everybody who believes we should get a backup full back in, and I hesitate to say just left back because I would like somebody who can cover both sides. The centre back thing looks sound if Degsy Lovren stays. If he goes, and we sign this youngster from PEC's Zwolle, that Dutch side, that means you've got two good 17-year-old young centre backs. Therein lies a quandary because you've got three centre backs if Dejan Lovren goes competing for two places, but you probably need four. So what do you do then? Do you go out and bring in another centre back, or do you just roll the dice and hope that you get a chance and you progress one of the kids through? 30 to 40 million max for Zaha. There's no way you're going to get him for that cheap, Connor. Good evening, Shabir, mate. How are you? Luke Cliff said 45 to 55 million for Zaha. Ben Washbrook 50 million, 45 for Eclipse. Zaha is good but not suited to Liverpool's style. And Bench said Maverick, 20 quid for Stephen Taggart. It's not even 20, but just 20 quid. It's only worth a score. I'll give you a score from. Just for the bands. Imagine ringing up Palace. Hello? Yeah, put Roy on the phone. But he doesn't deal with transfers. Look, motherfucker, I don't care. I said put Roy on the phone. Here, Roy, listen to this. We'll give you a score for Zaha, mate. A score, and we'll give you Mignolet as well. I'd imagine that will go down quite well. Zaha, too expensive, big wages, said Phil. Or Philip Lindsay. Give Adam Lewis a chance like we did with Trent, said John. I agree, and I think that's probably what will happen, if I'm being honest, John. I think that's what's going to happen. It's very difficult to say how a young player will react when he gets the first team opportunity, but as I've always said, our coaches are pretty damn good at judging talent, so if they think he's ready, then who the hell am I to say he isn't? Wouldn't pay any more than 25 million for Zaha, said Zafilio. Quid for Zaha, said Toxic Boy. Anybody, any raising on a quid? Anybody got that higher than a quid? 45, 55 million for Tom. Absolutely loving how United have completely lost their mojo since Fergie left. It's fucking brilliant, isn't it? Isn't it brilliant? Honestly, they're going around in circles and they haven't got a clue what's going on. It's great. The reason I think Fernandes makes sense is because our midfield lacks goals, said LFC 1892. I would kind of agree with you and I'd kind of pull you up on it for the same thing. It'd be great to have more goals from midfield. I get you there. But the way our chances are created are from wider areas and the style of football that we're playing. But yes, we could be doing with taking a few more shots as well. So I get where you're coming from. Lovren and Mignolet might not mind being number 2 and stay at the club. Great for the dressing room, so Bernadette Farrell. Zaha is a decent player but not worth £107 million. Now that, Darren, I 100% agree with, mate. There's no way Zaha is worth that much fucking money. No way. Don't forget, Craig, it takes 3 years to bring the young centre back through. Does it? I don't know if it does, mate. It is a position where it's very rare for, like, that's why De Ligt, I suppose, is so rare. You don't really see many centre backs of his age in first team football at the highest level. Now, Joe Gomez, if he hadn't picked up his injuries, God knows how far along this progression he'd be. But even at that, we're comfortable now playing Joe Gomez at centre back. I mean, I wouldn't even blink seeing him playing beside Van Dijk. In fact, for me, he'd probably be my favourite partner for Virgil van Dijk, as good as Joel Matip was for the second half of the season. Doesn't Palace want 80 million for Zaha? Said the real Sam Priest. Can he Gagan press? Well, look, if he can press or if he isn't willing to put the work in, then Klopp wouldn't even entertain him. Not that I'm saying he is entertaining him, because I don't know. Brian Morris, he said Palace want all the money for Zaha. He's too controversial for me. I don't want to have spent every weekend talking about whether he dived or not. Fair enough. We kind of do that anyway, because no matter what happens to Mo Salah, somebody's screaming abuse to saying that he's diving. Even when he stays on his feet against Bournemouth, where he was fucking absolutely clattered on the leg, he still didn't get any credit from people. Do you think Keita can add to the goals next year? If so, what's the point of Fernandes? Yes, I'm expecting a lot from Naby Keita, mate. I'm expecting serious progression from him. I don't know what stopped him this year, whether it was the language barrier, maybe it was a culture shock, maybe it was a bit of a stop-start season through injuries, I'm not sure, but yeah, I have very high expectations for that guy. And I'm not worried at all that he didn't have the greatest first season, because, you know, you give people time when they come from a different league like that. I'm almost happy, this sounds weird, but not to write off their first season, but I would never judge somebody like that on their first season. What do you think of the third kit? I don't know till I see it in person, Jordan. It's not great from some of the pictures that I've seen, but everything looks better when you see the genuine kit. You know what I mean? And not just some screenshots of it on a hanger somewhere. You want the proper high quality images before you make a decision. And even at that, it's probably even best still to see it in person. Zaha this, Fernandes that. We all know the one player we should target, King Clavan, said Alpha G. Fernandes can fit them all the other midfielders while adding goals. I'd take him. Need workhorses in the midfield, said Safilio. Right, what else we got? Keita isn't the goal scorer. Kind of is though, mate. He's definitely a creative force in the final third. He doesn't know where the goal is. So I would disagree with you on that one. But look, it's just about opinions, mate. It's nothing wrong with disagreeing from time to time. Maverick said, yes, it does. Van den Berg, 17, still quite slim at the moment. Will need at least 3 years to fill out. So, yeah, I get where you're coming from. But at the same time, a young player like that with a good fitness regime, an L tub of protein powder and a fitness coach could fill out fairly quickly. Mohammed Khalif, thank you for the super chat, mate. But you didn't put a comment in, so if there's anything you wanted to say, buddy, please do feel free to put it in the chat. Naby Kate is still quite young and still learning English. He just needs time to settle in. 100% agree with you, old dog. Absolutely spot on that one. Have we any news on Fernandes after last night? No. Absolutely nothing, Paul. I wish, mate. I got up this morning, as I said, and I was looking through my phone expecting to see something. An article, something. But I'd seen nothing all day. Fekir not consistent enough for Klopp. Well, the thing is, Tommy, this is what makes me laugh about this situation. He clearly is because we went to buy him. So whatever we think about his consistency or whatever, that deal was happening until whatever, whether it was the money or the knee, I don't know. I can't say for certain, but it is absolutely certain that that deal was happening and that Jurgen Klopp was going for Nabil Fekir. So we can't now suddenly say that he's not consistent enough when we were absolutely going to sign him. Now, I don't like to belittle people's opinions, Tommy, because who the fuck am I to do that? I'm just saying that from a common sense perspective here, we were definitely looking at him. Is the third kit black and teal? Yes, it is, and it's got some weird pattern, mate, going across the front of it. Kate is definitely creative, but he doesn't get a lot of goals, which is what I mean. He wasn't at Leipzig either. I don't know off the top of my head what his goal return was at Leipzig, so it wouldn't really be fair for me to comment on that too much. What else we got? Lovren replacement is not that urgent. We have to think about the first few matches would be without Salah, Firmino, because of the international commitments. I think we'd be okay with Bobby, probably. That tournament is not a little bit further along than the African Cup of Nations, so we might get Bobby back a bit sooner. Obviously, it depends how far Brazil go into that and how far Salah goes and how far Sadio goes with Senegal. So yeah, I get where you're coming from. Pre-season, we probably won't see them in many of the games during pre-season, if any. Particularly the Tour of America. I think that's going to be one for the younger kids to get a chance. And I love that. I love that part of pre-season. I mean, last season I was so impressed with Curtis Jones and Nat Phillips. I thought they were outstanding in pre-season. We spoke about Shamal George last night. For those of us that weren't aware, Shamal George looks like he's going to head off to Swindon, I think it was. Free transfer, but Liverpool are going to be putting in a sell-on clause, apparently. Who would I prefer to sign, Pepe or Fernandes? Connor, I don't know either of them well enough, mate. From the clips I've seen and a few little bits and pieces I've seen, probably Bruno Fernandes. If we're talking the same money as well, around the 70 million mark, I do like the idea of somebody taking shots from distance, who knows where the goal is. A little bit more classy, a little bit more polished in his technique perhaps than Pepe, who still looks a little bit raw. I'd probably lean to to Bruno Fernandes. Yes, excuse me. Well, that's a good question actually. Let me put that one to the chat, guys. What do you think? Bruno Fernandes or Nicolas Pepe right now? Let's say they're both 70 million quid. Who would you go for? Hoover will likely play in the Trade Trophy, said Gonads. Yeah, that's a good point. We are in that competition this year for people that aren't sure or aware of that one. Last year Liverpool declined the invitation to play in it, but this year Liverpool and Manchester United will be putting an under 21 or under 23s squad in the Trade FA Trophy. So that will give the younger players a good competitive tournament to play in against, proper pros, League 1, League 2 players, proper professional footballers. Sometimes when you're playing under 23s and stuff, it's competitive, but it's not as competitive as, league football, cup football, proper adult senior competition. Which has always been the problem about the old reserves and stuff and the under 23s. I like the idea of it's not called the Champions League, is it? The under 23s one or the under 21s one. I like the idea of that European competition, playing other elite European clubs, But yeah, there's always been a struggle to get the under 23s or the players coming back from injuries to get them proper competitive games under the belt, to get them back up to speed. What's happening with Timo Werner? Another one. It's madness. Werner, really quiet. Pepe, kind of quiet. Fekir, ridiculously quiet. All players that we would have thought with 1 year left on the contract, people would be all over. It is very strange. Robbie, if you ask and use the word pedo-ish one more fucking time, mate, just stop with that. Actually, do you know what? Just fuck off. I'm not in the humour for your nonsense. Just piss off. Honestly, I couldn't be arsed dealing with stupidity like that. The mods need to get up on this as well, to be fair. When somebody starts putting in, am I asking too many pedo-ish questions, that's probably a sign they should be kicked out. I was expecting something when I got up this morning, but nothing in the Echo or the official site, said Paul Turner. Your daily reminder, now I'm very happy on this one, your daily reminder that Liverpool have won the Champions League 6 times. Good man, Alpha G. That is what we needed to hear today, sir. You're getting your new Liverpool jersey tomorrow, Anthony. Nice one. Congratulations on that one, buddy. Grassroots getting attended again like the old days, said Tommy Edge. Yes, I love that movement, mate, towards grassroots non-league style football as well. I'm all for that. Because sometimes, as great as it is watching the Reds and stuff, it is nice to go back to grassroots, as you said, isn't it, from time to time, and just remember like what football is about at its essence. Yeah, I like that as well. Bruno 1-4 to sign now from 1-9, 13-8 to sign with United from 3-1. So those odds seem to be moving a bit. If Tootsie's spot on there with those, what site were they from, Tootsie? If you don't mind me asking. What have we got? Katie will do great things for us, said Boss Mega. 100% agree with you on that one, mate. I've no doubts. Doubts? What the fuck are doubts? I can't even speak today. I've no doubts about Naby Keita, I should say. I mean, the guy is quality. He just needs to show some consistency this season, but that will come when he gets used to his environment, the city he's living in, the culture, the food, the language, his teammates, fitness levels. There's lots and lots of stuff for players to work on when they come into a new club. Liam said, breaking news on Sky, Tottenham have agreed £65 million deal to sign in Ndombele, which we kind of knew that was coming as well. Everybody's afraid to sign somebody because of financial fair play, said Declan. Mate, something fucking going on. What's going on, Declan? I mean, where are the transfers? I know people can say that the AFCON's on and the Copa America's on. I get that, but there's still a lot of players that aren't playing in tournaments, and nobody seems to be signing anybody yet. Would you like to see Reina back? I wouldn't mind him at all as a backup, yeah. I honestly wouldn't. As I said before, can you imagine the training ground with Pepe Reina and Alisson Becker working on their distribution and stuff with Queeveen Kelleher and or Camille Grabara? I mean, teaching those guys, oh fucking hell, that would be class. We don't buy big stars, we make them, said Michael. Yes, but we also bought Virgil van Dijk. We also bought Alisson Becker. So we do splash the cash when we need to on proven quality. Trust Klopp and the team will be right up there next season, whatever they decide. Never mind these players getting pushed by agents, everybody and his dog. You know what, Tommy? You're probably right, mate, underneath it all. I think maybe some of this today is a little bit of a tinge of disappointment from myself and probably a few other people as well. We got a bit excited last night, didn't we? Thank you, Declan, by the way. The missus doesn't drink wine, but she's we're going out on Friday, so we'll have a nice evening out then. It's incredible how you can get 600 people to watch non-match streams. Fair play, said Connor. Honestly, I've got no fucking clue why or how we do it or how people are on here, Connor. As I always say, I'm very appreciative on it, but I've no idea. I've no idea how or why it happens, mate, but I'm so grateful that people do come on. Because I love it. I love interacting with everyone. I know I was a bit cranky at the start of the stream, and I do apologise for that, but I've had a really bad day. Would you sign Naomi Campbell for 10 million? No, she's a diva. Don't want divas at the club. No, she's definitely a diva. We can say that without a shadow of a doubt. Any news on Bruno Fernandes, Craig? No, Stephen, mate. Unfortunately, there isn't. I wish there was, though. So now I almost feel guilty at times coming on and saying that there's no news. Did Connor send that into Anfield Agenda or into me? I sent it into Anfield Agenda. Grant. When I see Connor's name popping up on my phone, I have to check it because it could be breaking news. Paddy Power Tootsie, thank you very much for that, mate. Appreciate it. Would I take Eriksen of Spurs? 100%. 100%. Christian Eriksen and Son from Spurs are two players that I think would work excellently well in our system with our manager. Sometimes you see things in grassroots that simply take your breath away. Yeah, even if it's something small, just remind you of why you fell in love with the sport sometimes when you watch grassroots football. And the passion's still the same. The quality obviously isn't at times, but yeah, it's great. It is nice to go back and look at grassroots football from time to time and remind yourself exactly why you fell in love with the sport. Did I watch the parade? As in the Champions League parade? Of course, yeah. I was a bit disappointed with the parade that there wasn't a finishing point where they're on stage. Was anybody else feeling that way about the parade? Would have been nice to have a final reception at the end of it where Klopp and the players got up on stage and Jamie Webster, Kieran Molyneux, whatever, broke out the L guitar and had a bit of a sing-song. I thought it was a small bit anticlimactic after what was an amazing turnout. You have to say it took my breath away watching. I've heard Boris has been approached by United. And we didn't speak too much last night on Rafael Benitez, but him and the Newcastle fans deserve better than fucking Mike Ashley. I don't know what that man had to do up there. He tried everything, kept them up, worked miracles. The fans love him. And then he's been let go, and they're talking about, like, managers I've seen linked are Claudio Ranieri, Avram Grant. Come on. With all due respect, Claudio Ranieri did excellently well with Leicester and is a really nice man, a real football guy. Avram Grant's decent as well, but they're not going to do a better job at Newcastle than Benitez is. I'm just not having that. So if that's the case, if I'm a Newcastle fan, I'm absolutely fuming right now. Andre, how are you, buddy? He said, okay, I had a good laugh today. See you guys soon. Have a great night, Craig and Sabrina. Same to you, mate. Thank you for popping in. Do you honestly think we'll get somebody or a few people? My heart is being torn. Declan, mate, I wouldn't say I was upset at the start of the stream, but I was a little bit down today, mate, over the transfer. Yeah, I thought something was going to happen. But look, I think, as I've always said, to be pragmatic about it, the manager's earned our trust, hasn't he? I mean, if he thinks we need tweaks, then tweaks it shall be. If he thinks we need 1 or 2 stars, then 1 or 2 stars it shall be. But either way, I'm like you. I think it's because last summer there was such a short window afterwards because of the World Cup and stuff, that this year we've so much time. Well, it's like 6 weeks or something till the season starts. Pepe or Dembele? Dembele, without a shadow of a doubt, for me, Luke. Without even blinking, mate. But I don't even care if he costs 30 million quid more. I would take Dembele over Pepe. What would you take, though? Who would you rather? Have you seen Andre Gomez assigned for Everton? I knew that they'd agreed a deal. Was it 21 million pounds, Sean, with Barcelona for him? And to be fair, Andre Gomez was quite decent for the bidders this season. Declan said, I actually hate Mike Ashley and I'm not even a Newcastle fan. They definitely deserve better. They do. And I've seen True Geordie had reached out maybe to try and get Rafa on his show. I don't know if it happened. Now, he's got some great guests on there before. And it would be very good if he did go on and have a chat with True Geordie. I'd definitely tune in to watch that one. But yeah, the Geordies, True Geordie and all the Newcastle fans, they deserve better than what they're getting at the minute. Rafa could have turned him down, to be fair. He did. I'd say that is probably the case, Stig. He just wasn't getting the reassurances that he wanted. I think over his 3 years at Newcastle, if memory serves me correct, and I seen a figure popping around from Sky Sports yesterday, was he like minus 11 million in the transfer market over the 3 seasons he was there, net, which in the Premier League, like, that's crazy. And to keep them up as well. And he wasn't starting from a really, really, really strong squad. Dembele for Shabir over Pepe. I mean, yeah, I'm every day of the week Dembele over Pepe for me. Adam Doherty just, again, reiterating Spurs are look like they're getting Ndombele for Leon for somewhere from 62 to 65 million. I heard if Solskjaer gets fired, Theresa May is tipped to take over. Yeah, it's probably. I don't know. I just find the whole situation at Manchester United very entertaining. I really do. I absolutely love seeing them flopping around like a wet fish and not knowing what the fuck is going on. It's great. Check Twitter. I sent a screenshot of the Fernandes related news. Right, I will. 1 second. Okay. What's the news? It's just a screenshot of him with somebody. Instagram post saying thank you for everything. Yeah, I don't know, mate. The screenshot's there, alright, but I don't know what it's supposed to say. We do know that he did do that Instagram post, kind of saying thank you to Sporting and that it was great to win stuff with them and it was great to win individual stuff and blah de blah. But where he's going, none of us seem to know yet. Farwell said, I think it's because of the rare opportunity we now have as reigning European champions. It's hard to be shinier and more attractive. Yes, that's a very good point, buddy. I think that's what we all hope for as well, because we lost in the Champions League final last year to Real Madrid, and then the club unleashed Fabinho on us a few days later, and not that it made up for it, but it was certainly a nice little pick-me-up after the disappointment of the losing the European Cup final. And we thought that when we won the European Cup this year, I think many of us, myself included, believed that the club would probably come out and give us more good news very quickly, and that we know Jurgen Klopp likes to get his transfers in as soon as he can, and the fact that it's so quiet, so quiet, is worrying and unnerving many of us. Now, last year we knew certain targets. We knew who was coming in. Obviously, we knew that Naby Keita was coming. We knew we were interested in Fekir. We knew that there was murmurings around the whole thing around Shaqiri as well. But this year it's like radio silence. Nobody has a clue. Mario said, don't worry, Craig. Transfers will come eventually. It'll be a domino effect. Great job at Anfield Agenda. Keep it up. Thank you. I really appreciate that, mate. And I'm very fucking angry. Fucking. I'm very angry at myself for the start of the stream tonight. I usually try and push my personal bad days aside, and it's like a click a switch in my head when I turn on the microphone and, be more jovial version of myself. But yeah, today I apologise. I didn't have a great start to the stream. Is Buffon going back to Juve? That's interesting. Would you take Lucas Leiva back at our club as a midfield option? No, not as a midfield option now. He signed a 2-year contract extension with Lazio as well, so he's going to be saying, I'd take him back as a coach someday. I definitely would. I think Lucas Leiva has unfinished business with Liverpool. Not from a playing perspective, though. Who saw Klopp tapping up Son in the Champions League final? Not going to lie, mate, I did wonder. I absolutely did wonder. I thought to myself, oh, hello. He'd fit in, wouldn't he? He'd do very well at Liverpool. Would I take Mark Noble? Yes, mate. I would take him on a special little drive into the woods, and then I would release Mark Noble and let him be free to forage. What else have we got? The guy has made a video and he replied saying he's happy and he is staying for now. Yeah, he's not staying. There's no way he's staying at Sporting Lisbon. That definitely isn't happening. No matter where he goes, he is not going to stay at Sporting Lisbon this summer. I'd say the ownership at Sporting have spent that money in their heads already. There'd be no way after winning the Champions League Klopp will not sign at least one major signing, said Peter van der Schans. It gave us hope right after that loss. It really did, didn't it? That's where I was with it as well. Let me just say a massive thank you, by the way. I've been keeping an eye on the numbers throughout the stream tonight, and it's been consistently around 500, which for me being a dickhead at the start and for there not being much positive news, I really appreciate, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. The support and the loyalty you guys show our channel, we probably don't deserve it, but you know what, as I always say, we do appreciate it. So thank you so much for sticking with us and my moany ass tonight. What else have we got on this one? Firpo, Fernandes and Dembele peak signing, said Luke. Forgiven, Craig. Thank you. You got, honestly, I've often said to you guys before, I'm a pain in the arse to work with, and Connor will definitely confess to that one, and Brian will probably admit it as well. But I care so fucking much about this channel. I go to sleep thinking about it, I wake up thinking about it, I spend my day researching stuff. And if I have a bad stream, when I go off it, I'll spend 2 hours dissecting what the hell went wrong and what my attitude was wrong, and if I snapped at somebody I shouldn't have, or said something I shouldn't have said. It really does affect me and get to me, so I do apologise. I know you guys say I don't need to apologise, but you deserve the respect that I get from you guys right back. So if at times I don't reach those levels, that's expected, I apologise, because I am human, but I still should be better. Neymar back to Barca, that's looking very likely, mate. Yep. Dave's in as well. Dave's LFC chats. Mr. Salvador Dali, how are you, sir? He's got the NASA telescope and the Hubble telescope out looking for transfer news. I didn't see that Jersey boy about that YouTuber, mate. I don't know who it is, but I obviously condolences. That's horrible to hear. Excuse me. Thank you, Mohammed Khalif. That's so kind of you, sir. Thank you very much. They will be getting a big transfer such as 100 million plus, said Seamus. Sub, like and share, said Farwell, and please do if you guys have Liverpool fans or friends, let them know about the channel. I know you guys are great and you do anyway, but you know me, I'm always pushing for one more, haven't I? Don't worry, sometimes life is like that. Yeah, thank you. Connor says it to me all the time, by the way. He said that, like, this isn't television, it's YouTube. Stuff doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm a perfectionist as much as I can be. When you look as ugly as I do, and you're as bald as I am, and as overweight as I am, you have to try and excel or do well at one thing. Spurs pulled off Ndombele for 65 million, confirmed from Sky Sports. It's a good piece of business by Spurs, to be fair. Thank you, Germanis. That's so kind of you, mate. And thank you to everybody for your kind words. And the birthday wishes as well for Sabrina. Buffon back to Juve. Is that happening? Because I had seen Pepe Reina was asked or questioned about going back, or not going back, excuse me, he's at AC Milan going to Juventus, and it had been quoted that he'd rather stay at AC Milan and compete with Gianluigi Donnarumma. As Red supporters, we stick together, Craig. Sometimes we may upset each other but never fall out. Thank you, I appreciate that. Where was that comment gone? I wanted to where was the gentleman? I'm so sorry, mate, I've lost the comment. I don't know who it was that said it, but thank you. Oh, it was Enbro. Thank you, mate. Buffon needs to retire, especially with Casillas. Well, I don't want to talk about Casillas being unwell, because that was devastating, to be fair. But yeah, I would agree that Buffon should retire, to be fair. He should. Sometimes you just need to know. You know what I mean? And he'd be a great goalkeeping coach, by the way. If you went back to Juve as a keeping coach, sound. But he is a legend at that club. Claire Dean, how are you, my friend? I hope you're having a good day. Thank you, Kirby, as well. What have I missed? Oh, Virgil, mate, there's nothing. I'm not going to lie. There hasn't been a whole lot of stuff tonight that you've missed. There was a few more bits and pieces, though. Oh, Rafael Camacho. Portuguese media are reporting that Rafael Camacho hopes that a deal between Liverpool and Sporting Lisbon can be accelerated so that he doesn't need to return to Melwood. It's no secret that he's refused to sign a new deal at Liverpool, and it's no secret that the club are happy to move him on this summer. It looks like around 10 million. For those of you that aren't aware, and I'm sure most of you are, Sporting is where he came from, so going back there made sense. There was also links to, was it Schalke at one point in Germany? But yeah, Sporting seems a natural move for him. We spoke about Wilfried Zaha. We spoke about that. Oh, Alberto Moreno. I'm not sure if you guys seen this today. So, former Liverpool player, and it seems weird saying that because he's only just left. Alberto Moreno is going to be joining Villarreal on a free transfer, and that is according to Marca. But it does look like that's going to happen. So, move back to Spain, which is what I know a lot of you guys thought. There were some very strange links suggesting he'd go to Arsenal to work with Unai Emery again. There was also more links saying that he could go back to Sevilla, but it looks like Villarreal is where he's headed to. A lot of Evertonians were telling me last night that Andre Gomes is better than all our midfielders. they oh, God bless them. Look, to give credit as I did earlier on, Andre Gomes is a very tidy midfielder. He's a good footballer. I'm not going to say otherwise, but come on, do you know what I mean? They're called bidders for a reason. I can come on and be honest and say he's a good midfielder. I absolutely will admit to that. He's a good player and he impressed me when we played Everton. But come on, to say that he's better than all of our midfielders is just bollocks. Jer, talk to you soon, mate. Talk to you soon. I hope life is well in Oz. Evening, Craig. How are you? So Tony Watson. I'd love Klopp to sign Werner and Fekir. Those signings would be splendid. Yes, they're two signings, Tony, that I'd love as well. Good luck to Alberto Moreno. Said it's Fran. Classy gesture, mate. Well in. Declan, I'll talk to you very soon, mate. Do you know what, Declan? I have to say before you head off, pal, it's been really nice. I know you won the shirt, mate, and that's probably how we got introduced a little bit, but it's been nice interacting with you on Twitter and on here as well, buddy. So take care. I'll talk to you soon. Any news on Pepe? He's playing the African Cup of Nations with Ivory Coast, so won't be signing until the tournament is over. A couple of things, Ryan. So there's been one. What's the name? I always get the name of this crowd wrong. So what are they called? Maybe 1 second. Get Football News France have suggested that they spoke to, is it Boufazi? Is that the gentleman's name? Mohamed Boufazi, and he said that Liverpool are definitely interested, and that Liverpool had made inquiries, and that Liverpool are being kept aware of what's going on. Roughly, there's a very long article there. I'm just kind of giving you a skim through it. But then Melissa Reddy, who I would hang my hat on with regards to her quality and her integrity, she said that Liverpool have no interest, and that Liverpool have actually told Lille, or not Lille, that Lille, sorry, it is I'm getting confused with Fernandes again. Liverpool have told Lille that we are absolutely not interested, and we've no interest in signing Nicolas Pepe. So I guess it's a matter of what you believe, or what you want to believe. Harry Wilson, favourite to go to Wolves. That would be a good move from Wolves' point of view. And I said that I do believe he's going to move on. 20 to 25 million is the figure I'd seen mentioned. Whether there's a buyback clause in that, I don't know. He's got 3 or 4 years left on his deal. I know we signed a new deal last year at Liverpool. I know a lot of you guys as well rate him and think that he could do a job. I just don't. From what I've seen of him, and he was probably still going to progress, but from what I've seen of him, yeah, he's got the highlight reel goals, but he drops in and out of games too much for me. Who do you think will finish highest next season? Arsenal, Chelsea or United? It's very hard to say, Alex, because Arsenal have stability at the minute, but they need signings. They need midfielders, and you seem to be an Arsenal fan, mate. You need midfielders and you need defenders. I think you'd admit to that one. There's also some stuff I'm sure you've seen that maybe Torreira is looking to force a way out of Arsenal, which, if you're an Arsenal fan, you've got to be annoyed about, because he's been very good for Arsenal. Chelsea looks like they're getting Frank Lampard in. He's been given permission to talk to them, but they have a transfer ban. But yet again, I'm hearing that they could sign Kovacic. They have the agreement to sign Kovacic, or the clause in that would run out at the end of the month. Now, can they still do that with the ban that they have in place? Is that included as part of that loan agreement? Manchester United, then, you don't know what the fuck is going on. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's there. They don't seem to be able to bring in players as of yet. They're going after Wan-Bissaka. They're obviously after Bruno Fernandes. They've got in young James from Swansea. They're looking at Longstaff, and they're looking to bring in a director of football. But the names that have been going around for director of football wouldn't fill me full of confidence. I mean, when you're hearing Rio Ferdinand, when you're hearing Darren Fletcher, when you're hearing who was the other person that I'd heard? Actually, Mike Phelan, to be fair, that would make some sense. He knows the club inside out. I'm not going to be full of confidence if I'm a United fan hearing things like that. So I think Arsenal have the most potential there to get it right if they can hold on to the players, mate, and get a couple of decent signings in, because I'm a firm believer in banging in goals, and with Lacazette and Aubameyang, Arsenal can certainly bang in goals. So if they can shore up a little bit in midfield and defence, then yeah, I would probably say that they have a good chance of finishing nicking that fourth spot, because it does look like there's probably one spot up for grabs. Do I think Neymar is overrated? It depends who you ask. For me, he's a a diva, an overhyped YouTube clip asshole. Probably Riley is what I'd say. Which is really annoying because there's no denying the talent that he possesses. And if he had, I keep saying the same thing, if he had Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi's work ethic, then he could have been sensational. But as it is, what's he going to be remembered for? He's got his fans. I ain't one of them. Yeah, not for me. I don't know if overrated is the right word because it depends who you ask. But for me, I'm not putting him in the top 10 players in the world. Not on my list anyway. Liverpool's first sign of the window would be Van den Berg. Said Yassar. It looks like we're getting him. 1.8 million. Young centre back from PEC Zwolle. Any Dutch people watching, I'm sorry, I absolutely butchered that name, I know. But yeah, good young centre back. Good piece of business. It looks like we fought off stiff competition to get him. Do I watch Red Men TV? No, mate, I don't. But only because I don't watch much YouTube. Not because of any lack of respect in what they do. Just don't, not really somebody who watches much YouTube stuff, and if I do, it's usually just boxing on IFL TV or the Joe Rogan podcast. But the bits I've seen of Red Men, I mean, quality. What can you say? They make great stuff. What happened to Bruno? I don't know, mate. I don't know what's going on, Anto pal. I haven't got a Scooby Doo. What's going on? Goldbridge just tweeted. Care to elaborate on that one? I'm gonna have to go and work for it. You're making me work for it tonight. Let me just try and find what Mr. Goldbridge was tweeting, because if it's about Bruno Fernandes, let me find out. Right, so what has Mark had to say? Fair play to Spurs for getting Dembele. No disrespect, but it shows how far we've fallen as a club, that they're better in proposition than Manchester United Football Club. Yeah, I'll agree with that one. That's good. We'll go with that one. Well in, Mark, on that one. Anything that bashes United, I'm all for. How tall is Van den Berg? I don't know, Steve. Off the top of my head, mate, I really don't know how tall he is. Man United Crystal Palace, we spoke about that one earlier on, mate. There is a link there in the media today. It was a London Evening Standard, I believe, that started that story with Roy Hodgson looking to bring Simon Mignolet to Crystal Palace. Depay is favoured to sign with about 10 clubs who don't want him. I love that, mate. Thank you for making me smile. I needed it today. Yeah, he's been favoured to sign for Liverpool for fucking all summer, and doesn't look like we've any interest in it. Why did I have a bad day today? On Tuesdays I see a psychologist, and today was a very tough day, and it being my wife's birthday as well. I felt bad that I was not in peak form today, but thankfully myself and Sabrina are going out on Friday. We always had that planned. We're going to see Reginald D. Hunter on Friday, so looking forward to that. But yeah, it was a tough day with the psychologist today. Yeah, tough work. Going back through your life and pulling stuff apart and putting it back together, it takes it out of you. 6'2" for Van den Berg. Thank you very much. Last exam of the year. Nice one. Big man Steve. Wish you the best with it, mate. I hope you knock it out of the park, and then I hope you enjoy your summer, because you've earned it. What was it? Seeing that Liverpool video yesterday, best video I've ever seen. Is this the unseen footage of the Champions League one, Michael? Because that was lovely to watch. But I thought a video that I really enjoyed was the one the club put out, which was 6 minutes of Jurgen Klopp after the final whistle of the Champions League, where the camera was just fully focused on Kloppo for the 6 minutes afterwards. That was lovely. Matt said, Craig, just remember during the Alisson saga when Melissa Reddy stated Liverpool weren't interested, this might be information fed to her by the club to avoid an incident. I wouldn't. It could be, but I don't want to question a journalist's integrity. So I've nothing but the height of respect for Melissa Reddy. So I believe she always acts in good faith. That's all I can really say on that one. But yeah, look, the club we have seen with no interest in a goalkeeper out there, as you've said before, and then we went and signed one. So you never know. You heard DT is fighting Rance this weekend. It's his son, isn't it? I don't know anything about this other than what somebody has said, Peter, but I thought it was Rance was fighting DT's son this weekend. But as I said, I'm not going to comment on that, because as much as I dislike Mr. Double Initials, I would never disrespect a man's family, and I would never talk about his child. So it's not something I'm going to touch on at all, because, you know, I don't know DT's son, and the young man deserves respect, so I'm not going to speak about him at all. That's not my place to do so. He's a dickhead, Mr. Double Initials, but his son is his son, and the man's family deserves respect. What else we got? Reginald D. Hunter is great. Yeah, we seen him up in Belfast, Ishmael, last year. And he's coming to Dublin this year. So I think he was in Dublin last year, but we just wanted a weekend away, so went up to Belfast. He's very funny. I seen Toy Story 4 with my friend, said it's Fran. I think my son's going to go and see that soon. I know, Stephen, I got your message, mate, but it obviously came when I was on stream, so I couldn't reply. But yeah, I think you'll get a benefit from it, Stephen. I'm working with a very good psychologist now, really good psychologist. It's deep, man. Do you know what I mean? It's deep when you go back through your life and you're trying to pull things apart. But I wish you the best as well, Stephen. But yeah, I'm enjoying it, but it's tough because you're literally pulling your life apart and exposing your flaws, your weaknesses, your insecurities, and everything that makes you tick to try and figure out who you are and how you can become a better husband, father, person. Yes, it's difficult, but I've always been open about it on here. You should be, because it's fucking, talking is great. Opening up about stuff like this is great. Speaking to a professional is great. It's helped me immensely throughout my life in periods where I've needed counselling, or sometimes I've needed medical intervention as well. I've had to take medication at times for anxiety and stuff. But do you know what? It's all worked, and I would advise it to anybody. Always talking always helps. If you get Bruno, I'm going to kill stupid Ed Woodward, said Janice. I know a lot of United fans aren't particularly pleased with the work Mr. Woodward is doing. What else have we got? Thank you, Joanne. Dutch Kid is 6'2", said PBD 11203. That's a very technical sounding name there, mate. My favourite is the Barca fans' reaction. Yeah, there's been some great videos going around. That's a good shout, Mohammed. There's been some very good videos going around of Barca fans and stuff as the game went on. It does, yeah, you got to smile at that. 6 minutes of Jurgen Klopp hugging everybody, could get his hands on, was fantastic. Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? But as well, I've said this at the time, but I want to say it again. Pochettino was a class act after that final as well. The man, he just is a class act, Mauricio Pochettino. I have to say, very impressed by his demeanour, his attitude after the game. He's a top manager. I think he's going to go a very long way as well in his career. What else have we got? Happy birthday to your wife. Thank you very much, Sofilio. I really appreciate that. No, mate. DT is not fighting his son. I believe Rant is fighting his DT's son. I believe. It's a charity thing, though. It's not just two lads going out for a slap. I think it's to do with charity. I believe. I don't know much about it, to be fair. Craig, shredding the ego bit by bit is helpful. I don't have an ego, pal. That's part of my issue, is there's no ego there. It's the exact opposite, to be honest. How old am I? Oh, that you're aiming at somebody else. Sorry, I thought you were talking to me, which is grand. This window is so boring. It's not been great so far, mate. Yeah, but there's loads of time left. Happy birthday to your wife. Thank you for that, O-Dog. Right, 15 minutes to go, ladies and gents. 15 minutes. Any questions? Anything you want to talk about? Football related, non-football related? Anything you've ever wanted to ask me? Fire away. Now is the time to do it while it's quiet. Tonight's stream went really quickly. It did, Anthony. For one that I was not dreading coming on to, but one that I knew I was probably going to not be at my best at, it has flown along, yeah, it really has. Especially when I was expecting disappointment from everybody over the lack of any further news on the Bruno Fernandes thing. Do I watch Love Island? No, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't. I've watched lots of those type of shows before. Like, I watched The Island with Bear Grylls and stuff like that. But no, not Love Island. What concert was at Anfield today? Pink. I believe it was Pink that was at Anfield today. And she puts on a damn good show as well. And thank you, Sarabia. I really appreciate that. Any Boom recommendations? Boom? I don't know what you mean by boom, Alpha G. I mean, I could just keep saying boom because I like saying it. Boom. But I don't know what you mean. Birthday sex. I mean, she's already been disappointed enough today, Brandon, without me making it worse. Could end on Bele to Spurs spark a domino effect. It could. It could also let them look at starting to move on the likes of Eriksen and stuff as well, who it's no secret that he's probably going to move on this year. But yeah, it might do. It could do. Should I be worried about your Should you be worried about your junior cert results? No, I'll tell you exactly as I told my own daughter, Adam, who did her junior cert this year. Your education, whilst important and you should give it 100% your best, it's not going to define you as a person, mate. It's not going to define your life. But absolutely give it your best shot, but don't stress yourself about it, mate. You do what you can do. Do you see us improving on last season's points? This is an interesting one, Craig, because I had this conversation with Connor and Brian in one of the little podcast segments that we filmed. I asked them both if I put 97 points on the table right now, would they take it? I think they both said no. I know Brian definitely said no. I think Connor said no. Whereas I would take 97 points right now if it was on offer, because I think other teams are going to up their game a bit and probably be a bit more competitive towards Manchester City. So I'd take 97 points now if it was on offer. What about you guys? Would you think 97 points will win the league next year, yes or no? Pink is badass. She is great show. She puts on a great show. Craig, you picked me up at my lowest times with the channel. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate that. We all do it together. Do you know what I mean? This is what from day one. I don't want to be known as like that mental health guy, but I've never been afraid to talk about it because, particularly amongst males, we need to get our fucking act together when it comes to mental health. Males under the age of 35, we need to start realising that we can speak up, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. This channel could get to 1 million subscribers and I will still be talking about the times I fucked up, and I'll be talking about when I needed help, why I needed help, how I needed help, and it's important. But it's not good. It doesn't define any of us. We're going to make Fabinho type signing for Eriksen. Oh, mate, I'd love that. Right, what have we got? So 97 points. The Reverend said I'll take my chances and go for 100. It's Fran said 97 points is very good. It is. I think we're going to need 100, said Stephen Richards. Would I take Glenn Whelan? No, I absolutely would not take Glenn Whelan. Oh, God, no. Looking at him for Ireland was bad enough. Param would take the 97, as would Marble King. LFC 8092 said doubt it. Odog said yes, but we could do better. Gonad said last season's total was a record. Not sure we'll get 97 points or more this season. Rance called out DT, but he has medical problems, so his son stepped up. Okay, well look, that's between them. I just hope everybody comes out of it with their health intact. That's all I wish for those guys. I do have so many things I want to say about Mr. Double Initials not stepping up, but that's for another day. City or Liverpool won't get 97 points next season, said Ben. Could do, to be honest, said Callum. We both said no, said Brian. So there you go. They both did turn down the 97 points. What else we got? We are one subscriber off 17,450, ladies and gents. So if there's one person watching that hasn't subscribed, please do hit that button. On the road to 20k. I can't believe I'm even fucking saying that, to be honest. It just sounds like I'm making it up, but yeah, we're getting there. Rainbow Rising said 6'2". If this is in regards to the Van der Shands guy, yeah, it does look like that's his height. Thank you for that one, mate. Melissa Reddy is usually bang on, said Liam Granby. I feel like the chat's gone back in time here for a minute. I think 87 or 85 points, excuse me, said Callum, would be enough. I don't know about that one, mate. 85, I wouldn't take 85 personally. Zafilo said 100% what Stig said. We need to take points off City in both games and be consistent against the rest. Let's not forget as well, ladies and gents, we are 2 years now. I love saying this, but we are 2 years unbeaten at home in the Premier League. So it's fair to say Jurgen Klopp has definitely turned Anfield into a fortress. 101 points will be a record for league titles at Liverpool Football Club. Do you reckon Ireland will qualify for the Euros? There's a good chance, mate, because of more teams being able to qualify. And I do like what Ireland have done. I do like the fact that they brought in Mick McCarthy, but Stephen Kenny is going to go with the under-21s and then eventually take over. I think for once the FAI have probably got a decision right. So yeah, I'm all for the way they're going about it. And Stephen Kenny is a very good manager. He knows what he's at. Craig, I'm definitely with you about the other teams going to be more competitive against City, so Cape Town Muslim. Joanne just wants to talk about 6. I mean, we could talk about 6 all night, Joanne. Never get sick of it. 6 European Cups. 6. What a week that was, by the way. I know you've heard me say this before, but for the Monday night, for Vincent Kompany to score the goal against Leicester, for us to be pretty fucking devastated, and then for us to go out and beat Barcelona 4-0 the next night, and then to see what unfolded in the Ajax Spurs game, it was just a mad 3 days of football. Ben Washbrook said 93-94 points should win the league. It's Alex said, imagine winning the league on 96. It'd be weird, wouldn't it, having got 97, but I don't think we'd care. City are building a team that'll get 95 plus points for a few years. On City, though, I think it's important that we remember that they're facing a potential ban from the Champions League. Now, that wouldn't be coming into effect for this season because you'd imagine they'd appeal it. So it would probably be pushed back. So they will have that on their mind. And I think it's also important that we remember stuff as the season goes on for Manchester City is going to keep unravelling. They're going to be in the media for the wrong reasons. Whether rightly or wrongly, I'm not saying if they're innocent or guilty. They're not guilty as fuck, but I'm not saying one way if they're innocent or guilty. That's not for me to decide, but they're not guilty. We need to remember that will be what's unstabilising? Is that the word I'm looking for? Destabilising, that's the one. That will be a destabilising factor for them, and could maybe see them focus on the Champions League because they know they mightn't have the opportunity the year after to go and try and win it. And we know that is pretty much what Pep was brought in to do at Manchester City. So there's that to take into account as well. VAR is going to cost many teams points this season. Yeah, VAR, I've quickly developed a love-hate relationship with VAR, particularly when it comes to penalties being given. I mean, when the referee... Did you guys see the USA-Spain game in the Women's World Cup? Did you guys watch that game yesterday? There was the second penalty decision in particular for America. For me, was a disgrace from the referee. The player had no control of the ball. She was gone away from goal, and there was the very slightest, and I mean very slightest, if any, touch on her. And the referee gave it, went to VAR, went over and reviewed it, and gave it again. Now, to me, it wasn't a penalty, in my opinion. And it is about opinion, which is why VAR is still subjective. It's about somebody's opinion. Now, if you look at a foul slowed down in real time, or not in real time, in slow-mo, it's going to look worse. Same as a handball. It's going to look worse. I didn't think it was a penalty. And a few more decisions in other competitions have made me kind of worry about it a little bit as well. We can't say that any contact is a foul, and because there's hands on arms, there's shoulder barging, there's so much stuff goes on inside the penalty area that it can't be there's contact, therefore it's a foul. It can't get to that point. It is a contact sport. So does that mean if somebody slaps off somebody's hand and they go down, it's a foul because there was contact? It's getting to that point. It pissed me off, that decision. I really felt angry about that decision. Just that one particular one. And there's been some other ones, by the way, in the World Cup, the Men's World Cup last year. There were some suspicious penalties given as well. Some really fucking soft penalties. VAR equals Marmite to Stephen Richards. Remember Antonio Conte's team that won the league? It was a good team. Yes, it was. He's a good manager, Conte, to be fair. What else we got? The commentator and the pundits all lost it over that match. Even the haters. Boss, said Claire. VAR has been shambolic in the international tournaments. I hate VAR, said Happily Eggs. What about Scotland versus Argentina? Penalty women to put Scotland out of the World Cup. I didn't watch that game. Is this the one where the penalty was retaken because the goalkeeper apparently came off her line? I didn't see the game live, but I do remember reading about it alright. Just come up in Sky Sports, both Manchester clubs have told Leicester they will have to pay 65 million for Harry Maguire fat head. Yeah, I don't know how to put a value on Maguire either. It's a strange one. He's definitely not an £80 million centre back. But then again, a player's value is only derived from what somebody's willing to pay. VAR ruins the excitement of the game. It does to an extent, yeah, because you score now, and even if it seems like a very clear-cut goal, there's that 1% in your head that knows every goal is going to be checked by VAR. So you're kind of a little bit more muted in your celebration just in case. I wonder how it's going to get on streams this year. I've thought about this because there's going to be times where I look like a right dickhead celebrating goals, and then it'll be clipped up and it'll be used to make a mockery of me, which is sound. I mean, if you're on here, you're open to fair game, but there's going to be times where we all get angry about it, that's for sure. VAR is okay on TV but crap in the stadium, said Gonans. What did people think of the Cameroon women against VAR or against England? It was... I want to try and hold back on this one, mate, but it was pretty petty and disgusting. And the spitting incident, by the way, was beyond disgusting. Spitting on somebody is one of the lowest things you can do to another human being, in my opinion. You know, without the obvious. But like on a football field, that's one of the worst things you can do to somebody, to spit on them. That's disgusting. And then to be so petulant that you just refuse to kick off, it wasn't a great look. It really wasn't. Kind of felt for the referee. She could have been a bit more tough, but then again, who the fuck do you book? Do you know what I mean? Do you go around booking every player that's refusing to kick off? Do you book the captain? I did feel for the referee in that situation. Did Suarez claiming handball off the goalkeeper go to view? That was brilliant. Did you guys see this one? Luis Suarez tried to tap a ball around the goalkeeper on the edge of the box, and the keeper's arm went down and saved it, and Suarez started picking for a penalty. He's a lunatic. And then somebody ran onto the field and he was tripped up by one of the other team's players, and Suarez was appealing for him to get booked for that as well. The man is he's broken. I think Liverpool broke Luis Suarez and Lionel Messi. That was funny stuff. VAR has to be revised in real time, said Darren. I agree on certain things. Handballs and penalty incidents. Handball is always going to look more deliberate and worse in slow motion, without a shadow of a doubt. Peter Van der Shan said, goal line technology, yes. VAR, no. Goal line technology has been... I don't think any of us can say anything bad about that. It has been a great addition to the game. It's quick. Nobody argues with it. People know that if the referee's watch goes off, it's a goal. If it doesn't, carry on playing. I think that's been a great addition to the game. I also love the new rule that a goal kick doesn't have to leave the 18-yard box anymore. I think that's brilliant. That was a rule that really pissed me off when a player used to encroach and they got a chance to retake it. So the fact that can now happen is great as well. The substitutions new rule I like, but yeah, VAR, it's going to be interesting to see how it's implemented in the Premier League this season. And I don't like the fact that we heard conversations last year in the Champions League to say, oh, well, that would be a penalty in the Champions League, but in the Premier League next year, that won't be a penalty because of the way the rules are being interpreted in the Premier League. That sounded like a fucking nonsense to me, if I'm being honest. I mean, surely you want consistency across. Brian Morris, he said, football is changing. It always has, and it'll keep on doing so. It's unrecognisable compared to the game 50 years ago. VAR will turn games into moments instead of flow, said Happily Eggs. Just bought an incubator. You've lost me on that one, mate. Sorry. What's the new sub rule? Oh, okay. So substitute now doesn't have to leave the field anymore, mate, at the halfway line. So you know the situation. You know your number's coming up. So you go over the far side of the pitch. Linesman or the fourth official puts your number up and you slowly jog across. Well, that's been changed now. Players can leave the field at the nearest point of exit. So if you're near the corner flag, the opposite side of the pitch, behind the goal, wherever it is, the nearest white line to get you off the field, that's where you leave. VAR takes momentum out of the game, which is true. They need to speed up the decision making. VAR will create more controversy. Controversy equals attention. Attention equals money. Yeah, if it gets to the point where we're having ad breaks for VAR and stuff, I'm gonna lose my damn mind. That'll be like one of the last straws for me. That'll be ridiculous. Or if we're saying VAR is brought to you by Rolex, that can fuck off as well. By the way, if that's where they're gonna go with it. Did you see that somebody on Bruno Fernandes flight asked him about Liverpool? Yes, he did. They though. That's the thing about that, mate. The picture's legit, but how do we know that what was written in the post is what was said? We don't. We just have to take somebody on their word. Somebody else said tonight that there was something else from a different post that said he might be saying it's Sporting, so you really don't know what to believe. Zafilo said, I'd take 97 points for sure. Not often you can finish with one loss, but maybe we could be more arrogant in those games where we tied. Yeah, absolutely. I hate cycling uphill, said Mossy. I don't blame you, mate. I'd hate it as well. I missed the start. Do you think we'll make at least one big signing? I hope so, Gavin, but I can't say with any certainty, mate, because I wouldn't tell you lies. But I do hope so. I really do. I'd be very disappointed if we didn't make another good, solid attacking addition before the season started. VAR create money for looking to say yes or no. What do you think about Sepp van den Berg signing for Liverpool? It seems like a great piece of business, Jack, doesn't it, from my very, very, very limited knowledge of him. But when you see the list of clubs that were trying to sign him, Ajax, I think we're looking at him as a De Ligt replacement as well, possibly. It just goes to show you that we're an attractive club for young footballers because, one, they know they're going to get an opportunity. They're going to get the opportunity to work with Jurgen Klopp as well. And, I mean, let's be fair. You're going to get a chance to come and play for the reigning European champions. Is there anything about Pepe? A couple of things, Donald, mate. So there's a story coming around from Get Football News France where Mohamed Boufassi has said that Liverpool are interested. I'm kind of just skimming through this article. Liverpool are interested. They've contacted Lille. Other clubs are interested as well. But then Melissa Reddy has come out and said unequivocally that Liverpool aren't interested and that Liverpool have let Lille know that they've no interest. So I guess it's just a case of wait and see what happens. Or, of course, who maybe you believe. But I would be very surprised if Melissa Reddy went so far as to say that the club had contacted them to say no interest if we genuinely had no interest. I just don't see why she would say that if it wasn't firmly something that she was told. There's just no reason for her to do it. She could say, as far as I believe, the club have no interest, but to have gone as far as she did, that's a lot. That's saying a lot. So I fully believe that that's what she was told. Do I like Sancho? Yeah, he's a very good footballer. We know that Jurgen Klopp said he tried to sign Jadon Sancho, or he looked at trying to sign Jadon Sancho when he was leaving Manchester City, but they knew Manchester City wouldn't do business with them. How will our fans know VAR is at Anfield? They're going to have a screen in there somehow, mate, to tell the fans what's going on. Replays will be shown on screens. VAR replays will be shown on screens in the Premier League next season as well. George will announce it over the tannoy, said Gonads. You gotta love George. I mean, what a legend he is. Am I speaking OR to Liverpool into existence? Maybe. Alpha G, maybe. Nelson Semedo handled the ball in the Barca match the other day and Suarez appealed for his own teammates handball. Oh, he's lost it, hasn't he? You have a cup final tomorrow, Mossy. I wish you all the best with it, mate. I hope you go and get the W, mate. But let us know. If Seth Van der Beek... What's this? It's Sepp Van der Beek doesn't pan out. I'm sure we'll be able to sell him further down the road. Good business. Yeah, exactly. And we have Kian Hoover as well. So we have two very good, highly regarded, I should say, young Dutch centre-backs. Although the Van der Beek one, or whatever the gentleman's name is. I'm sorry, there's so many names. It's Sepp, what is his name? Sepp Van den Berg. Sorry, Van den Berg. Sepp Van den Berg. If he doesn't work out, we'll have to wait and see. But it looks like the club are confident in getting that one over the line. Spurs signed Ndombele, said Max. Yep, that had been announced a little bit earlier on. Good piece of business by them. And Mauricio Pochettino finally getting to spend some money. Although, it could be the money that they're going to get in perhaps for Christian Eriksen. OR plus Keita plus Fabinho injected into my veins, said Alpha G. What else we got? It's obvious that Liverpool are going to sign Pepe and Fernandes. How is it so obvious, mate? I'm not, saying yes or no. I'm just genuinely wondering how you came to that conclusion. Kev, how are you, buddy? What is it with the Dutch and centre backs at the moment? They seem to have centre back factory. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it, Ishmael? Sometimes it happens, doesn't it? Same with goalkeepers here in Ireland. I don't know what they feed them up in Donegal, but we had Packy Bonner and Shay Given there in a row. 2 Irish keepers, both coming from Donegal. Sometimes it just happens like that. Look, ladies and gents, I did see Bobby's no-look goal, Claire. It was class. I do love it. But his cheekiness to come in and charge down the keeper as well was great. And even when it hit the post and came back out to him, he still had the presence of mind to take it around the keeper and slot it in without looking, because he's just boss, isn't he? Right, ladies and gents, I'm going to call that a night. Again, I accept my apologies for my rather shabby start to the stream. It wasn't my greatest, and I do apologise. We'll chat to you all. What day is tomorrow? Wednesday. Yes, stream Wednesday, stream Thursday. Reminder, no stream on Friday night, because I am taking my good lady wife out for the evening, so I'm looking forward to that one. As always, look, thank you for sticking with us. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and give us a thumbs up. I will chat to you all tomorrow. If, as always, you have any news or any bits and pieces you want to get in contact with us, you can do so on Twitter, you can do so on Instagram. But you can also email us, AnfieldAgenda@gmail.com or AnfieldAgenda@outlook.com. We're always happy to hear from you. I will chat to you all tomorrow. Take care of your families, tell your loved ones that you love them, and up the mother.